Hi, my name is Jim Dailey. I'm your student's Global Forum teacher this year. If your student has me for PE as well, my apologies ahead of time for the fact that information on this video and on the other are going to be somewhat redundant. That being said, let's go ahead and launch on in. This is new. So I spent 4 years in the Navy from 93 to 97. I was 19 when I first started out in there, and I was very happy to leave. Good experiences overall, but that boat maybe looks big, but you try cramming 200 people on it, that thing gets small awful quick. It's a USS Reed. Last I looked, we had sold that to Turkey, and now that is Turkey's problem. So from the Navy, I came back home, and I first attended Centralia College, about 80 miles north off of I-5. And then from there, I went to Kirkland, Northwest College at the time. It's Northwest University now. And that's where I got my bachelor's in education. So from there, my wife and I got married. And it was still quite some time before we could wrap our head around the idea of having kids. Although that said, my wife was much more eager than I was when the time came. And I thought, this is the end of life as we know it. However, as you can see in the pictures, that was life just beginning. And this is our oldest daughter, Madison, and we love her to pieces. That being said, very scared for the thought of having another one because she would never share us with anybody else, and I did not see that changing if we had another little baby. But little baby Collins came April 28th, little COVID baby, and had to wear the mask and everything. And but other than that, it was a great experience. My wife worked with my daughter, dating all the way back to September, so that our house would not look like this. I was sure it was going to look like that, but my wife was able to work miracles, and instead, the two sisters look like this. And that is such a better way of doing things. They seem to be best friends right now, as much as a little 5-month-old can be friends with anybody or anything, but lots of smiles from both. So about Global Forum. This is a skills acquisition class. What I looked at when I began teaching Global Forum was, okay, first of all, what are the other teachers doing? Or what were the other teachers who had the class doing? And it turned out 2 or 3 other teachers had the class, and they all did something different. So I thought, okay, well, what skills do iTech students need? And looking not only for 6th grade, but what skills do they need that are going to set them on a path of success for the 7 years that they're here? What do iTech students do on a regular basis? And so you see these bulleted items, and summarization is a big one. Public speaking and presentations is another. Active listening seems like that's just kind of a no-brainer, but holy smokes, that is pulling teeth, let me tell you. And then inventing and producing. That is one of the more enjoyable units that I get to teach. Summarization, not the most exciting, but extremely necessary. Inventing and producing, we whet the kids' appetite with, what if you became a millionaire before you were done with 8th grade? Probably won't happen, but what if you came up with a great idea? And so they get a chance to plan and work on things on their own in secrecy. They're not going to share it with anybody. They're not going to tell them what they are. We give them the tips and the tools of the invention process, and then they work on things with that. And then to be able to grade it, what I do is I give them a fictitious, semi-fictitious project, the perfect bacon maker, and they've got to come up with the best version of that. And so that's how we go about grading that. But in the meantime, they learn what the invention process is, and then when they are taken with an idea, hopefully they have the tools to make something of it. So we do all of these things while the invention producing isn't necessarily a fundamental to iTech. It's bigger than that. It gives them a chance to think outside of just kind of the everyday life in school, and to start thinking about how do they make an impact, how can they contribute, and make things for themselves and their families, as well as for the community at large. And so that's why we spend time on that one. But going back to the summarization too, you notice it says reading, collaborating, and summarizing news articles. These are news articles that you and I would read. And one of the reasons that it's one of the less popular activities isn't because of the reading and isn't even because of the summarizing. It's because of the collaborating. Um, Students like to collaborate with friends, but they don't necessarily like to collaborate with people that they're unfamiliar with. And sometimes that's where we see our friction. And yet collaboration is a huge piece here at iTech. And so we get them immersed in that very early and quite often in Global Forum. So all of these skills are things that they're going to be using all throughout the 7 years that they're here with us. So we also have a chance that once we're back in the building, hopefully to do a drones unit. We have a flight instructor who is our ELL teacher, and he is also drone certified. And so last spring we were going to do that, and then COVID shut everything down. So we're hoping to kick it back off once we get back and the weather turns nice again this coming spring. That's it in a nutshell. Don't hesitate to reach out and email me if you have any questions. If you'd like to set up a Zoom meeting, let me know. I'll send you a link and we can meet that way as well. In the meantime, little Canvas and office hours slide, that information is posted on the Students Canvas homepage. And that's all, folks. Have a good evening.